Right, welcome to Tea to the Troddler. This video is going to be about the Brontë Way, which is 44 miles or 71, I think, kilometres long, and it travels from Yorkshire through into Lancashire, and it's all Brontë related, but there's some fantastic things to see, and I would strongly recommend it. Probably different to the way that I did it here, in that I did it in one day, or just about one day. I would strongly recommend that you take 2, 3 or even 4 days and go really nice and steady. Really enjoy it, and a few stopovers, obviously, once we're all allowed. But anyway, I hope that you enjoy the video. Right, good evening and welcome to Tea to the Troddler. We've just come down what's known as Nutter Lane, and we've decided to take on a bit of a challenge, and tonight I'm with none other than my very good friend David Thackeray. So we've decided to take on the Brontë Way, which is 44 miles or 71 kilometres, depending on which currency you want to operate in. And we're setting off from Oakwell Hall here at near Batley, and we're going to head over to Gawthorpe Hall over in Lancashire. So it's midnight now, so it's going to be a straight start. Now, Oakwell Hall is obviously, like I said, the start of the Brontë Way, and it used to be a boys and girls lodging boarding school at various times in the 19th century. And on one occasion, Charlotte Brontë, who attended the school called Roe Head down in Murfield, came to stay here, and apparently the hall, which you can't see behind me because it's pitch black, but I will put your picture on later on it, was the inspiration for Shirley, the novel Shirley, and apparently that Oakwell Hall became known as Field Head. So that's the start of our walk. We're going to hopefully have a good troddle. I'm afraid first 4 or 5 hours is going to be in the dark, so I can't promise you it'll be illuminating, but we'll try and make it fun. We might have to do some pieces to camera which are a voiceover later, because we don't obviously want to wake people up at 1 o'clock in the morning. But hopefully before too long we'll get into the light and we'll be able to show you some pictures. But until then, keep safe and keep watching.
What's my favourite lawn hardy? That's probably putting pants on fillet.
Putting pants on fillet.
They're trying to put Stan Laurel into a pair of pants because he's come over from Scotland to America, and Oliver's bereft and wanting to not being embarrassed by him, so they're getting to various, I don't know how
nice messes.
Lots of messes, all outside. It's a silent film, but really good watch.
Right, there you have it, folks, from the Grand Poobah himself. What were it called?
Putting pants on fillet.
Putting pants on fillet. Get tuned in. Right, we're here at the Stone Chair in Halifax, well, at Shelf, near Halifax. We're very quiet because it's only 5 o'clock in the morning. We're 11 miles in, and this is a stone chair, and it's a milestone marker. And this stone chair has been, or there has been a stone chair here since 1737. The latest incarnation that you can see now has been here since 1891. And it's quite a quirky thing, so we've just come down the road out of the way to see it. Like I say, we're about 11 miles in now, so we're a quarter of the way to our target, so fingers crossed we keep going. David's just taking some headache tablets, but keep troddling on. But that's the stone chair at Shelf. Right, we're in Clayton village now, and thankful to say it's almost coming light, which is really good because it's been a tough 6 or 7 hours as this. Car going past. This unassuming row of cottages here with the white windows, as you can see right in front of me, is may seem nothing special, but they are actually listed. They were listed in 1905, And at number 5, and in 1905 at number 5, Green End, one Albert Pierpoint was born. And Pierpoint was the assistant executioner and then chief executioner between 1932 until 1965. And on his watch he pulled the lever 435 times. And he took his job very seriously. And he would probably considered the best. And he showed a professionalism and a consideration in trying to make the whole process as quick and as free from suffering as possible. It worked out that, you know, height of people and what weight they needed to obviously make the death quick. He pulled the lever on Tim Evans, who was wrongly accused and then later pardoned, and then he more famously pulled the lever on the right man when they finally caught Christie. He also pulled the lever on Ruth Ellis, who was the last, I think, person to be taken to the trap door. So this is in Clayton village, so it just goes to show there's history all around. So yeah, that's where Albert Pierpoint was born. I don't know if I can show you Mr T, I'll try. He's sat on this bench just getting a bit of relaxation. But yeah, that's Clayton. Right, we're up in Thornton now. Once the home of the Brontes, and the church behind us is St James's Church. That was built in 1872 and it replaced the Old Bell Chapel, which is the chapel that Patrick Bronte used to be the parson or vicar at. And if you actually go inside St James's, which obviously you can't at the moment, but if you actually go in St James's, the original font from the Old Bell Chapel is in there, and it's a font that all the Bronte children were christening. So if you're coming to research Brontes and you're travelling Towarth, certainly coming up to Thornton is worth a go. And Mr T's replenished. He's had something to eat and something to drink. How are you feeling, Mr T? All right?
Not too bad.
Doing okay. So
not so bad.
We've had a bit of a rough sort of 7 or 8 hours. It's been a bit of a tough tear so far, but it was very hard walking in the dark. But we've come slightly into the light, into the mist. But yeah, moods are improving a little bit. So fingers crossed. Right, we're now at Market Street in Thornton, and as you can see, the house behind me is the house where Patrick Bronte and his wife moved here in 1815. As you can see on the plaque, I'll get a close-up picture of the plaque, but all the Bronte children were born here, or certainly Emily, Charlotte, Bramwell, and I think Anne as well. So yeah, quite a significant place. If you're going to do the Bronte Way, you've got to come to Market Street in Thornton, definitely for a visit. And some of the architecture around here, it's really kept its character, so it's definitely worth a visit. Right, here we are. We're on the road over to sort of Leaning and Oxon Oak, and I thought, as soon as we can't get any views or any pictures or anything, I'll have a word with Mr T. Right, Mr T. Obviously, myself and your good self and Steve Heaton and Jim Brown went up to the lakes for a number of years, and also down into Wales. Yep. But can you just talk everybody through very briefly, because we don't want to run out of tape. But talk us through Goulash Gate, please. Goulash Gate and Theakston's all peculiar.
Well, we obviously went up to Keswick.
Yep.
And all giddy. Got up there, didn't we? Got the bags off.
Yep.
And went out and had a few, 2 or 3 or 4 old peculiars.
We did, and that did the trick, I think.
We washed down with some goulash.
I think we give a rendition of Blue Ridge Mountains as we occasionally do.
We certainly did. Then after this, I didn't get up to work the next day. I felt rough as a badger's bottom.
Bottom being the proverbial.
Yeah.
So
and, you guys just went off and did your stuff, which I'm still well jealous about.
Yeah, we did Sharp Edge, and you stopped in bed. But
then it was worth coming just for the encore, which you and Mr Brown
yeah, so
made me chortle so much.
So when we got back from doing Sharp Edge without Dave, we ended up going out Keswick for a few beers, and some guy. Well, basically what happened is Jim went out for a cigarette because he was a smoker back then, and this guy came up to me and basically said, "Have you seen this lung testing machine?" And I says, oh no. So he says, here, what you've got to do is you've got to blow into it and try and get wheels to turn. So maybe in a tucker and quite competitive, so I'll be able to get it to turn. So I took a deep breath and blew into this thing and got covered in talcum powder, which made Mr. Thackeray laugh quite a lot, didn't he? And Mr. Eaton. So I obviously didn't know whether to knock this lad out but I took it in good spirit, went and washed my face off, just in time for Jim Brown to walk back through the door. So obviously, being a good friend of ours, we didn't tell him. And he did exactly the same trick, but only thing was he had his glasses on. So when he removed his glasses, all I can say to it was nothing short of comedy gold. But that is Goulash Gate and the lung testing machine. Right, Troddlers, afraid I've got a little bit of bad news. Mr. T, Mr. Thackeray has had to turn on his toes and go back home. He wasn't feeling too well, so there was no point in him continuing. We've still got an awful long way to go. We're not even quite halfway yet, I don't think. So, right decision, absolutely right decision. Gutted that he ain't going to see it through till the end, because obviously he's done all hard bit in dark, and obviously, funnily enough, he's just left us and the sun's come out. So that's how it goes sometimes. But health's more important. So we're troddling on. We're going to see if we can do this. It's going to be a big challenge. I haven't got a clue what time I'm going to finish, but we're going to give it a go.
So as I left Dave at the bottom of the Bridle Way above Oxenhope, I started walking on towards Oxenhope Moor above Leaming, and it's the first time I've ever been there, and it was absolutely stunning. So I'll highly recommend. I'll definitely be going back up there and walking again. It was wonderful. But I think one of the reasons why maybe David struggled is we've probably not fueled ourselves very well. And when I got through Oxenhope and got up to Haworth, I sat down, made myself a big coffee, and got plenty of food down me. And before I got to Brontë Waterfalls, it gave me a real boost, and I was certainly walking a lot quicker after that. So I think the lesson to everybody is to obviously plan out what you're going to do, but make sure that you give yourself plenty of food and drink on the way. That way you stay hopefully pretty strong.
Right, just a really quick video. This is the House of the Three Chimneys, which are featured in the Railway Children. As you can see, there's the sort of footpath that, or style that Bernard Criven's nearly got stuck in. So that's a little bit of a Railway Children for you.
Even though it isn't on the route, I would strongly recommend that you pop to Haworth and have a look. There's lots to see. There's the parsonage, and there's also the church, and there's the Keighley and Wycoller Railway, so it's definitely worth a visit. Lots and lots of stuff that's Brontë related. So if you're going to do the Brontë Way, I would strongly suggest that you give it a look.
Right, Troddlers, you're not going to believe this. I'm on Enfield side on my way towards Brontë Waterfalls, and look, I've come to schooling royalty here, look. Mr. and Mrs. Holland, I can't believe it, honestly. I'll go to the foot of our stairs.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm going to try and spin this round. I don't know how I'm going to do this right.
We're a bit worried about how tired he is. He's been going for quite some time. We saw this strange figure staggering up towards Brontë Falls. I thought I'd have to do some first aid, but he's had a bit of caffeine. He's absolutely fine.
I'm buzzing.
He's back on his way.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. But anyhow, so this is what it's like. If you come on Enfield side, you might beat schooling royalty as well. I'm going to keep this brief. We're here now at Brontë Waterfalls, which is not much in way of a waterfall really, but it's a place that inspired the Brontes to come and contemplate, maybe write a bit of poetry, maybe inspire them the books. It's always pretty busy. I just bumped into my cousin David and his wife Antoinette, so it's been a real pleasure today going on here. But as you can see, we've got the Bronte chair up here, I think, and then we've got obviously the Bronte bridge just over there, but like I say, it's always really busy. So if you want to come here and you want to be on your own and feel what Emily or Charlotte might have felt like, you really need to come on a summer's morning at really, really early doors, and then that way you might get a glimpse of what it's like. But it's Bronte Waterfalls, still a very pretty place if somewhat busy. Right, very quickly, because I need to get moving, but this cottage here used to be where the last home handloom weaver was in this area, and it was a guy called Timmy Feather. And there's all his, I think his looms down in Cliff Castle, and he was quite a character. He lived to a ripe old age, and it always has bewildered me how Patrick Bronte didn't realise that it was the muck and filth of Haworth that were causing his family all the problems that they had, and that they were dying young, when people out in the fresh air, and Timmy out at Buckley Green here lived to a ripe old age. But yeah, that was Timmy Feather. Right, I'm outside Ponden Hall, the magnificent Ponden Hall, which for years and years and years, or for centuries, was the home of the Eatons, who owned much of the land around here. And the main hall dates back to 1633, but there's some parts of it that go back as far as the 1500s, so it's quite an older property. It's often reputed as the house of the Lintons in Wuthering Heights, but it actually more resembles Wuthering Heights itself, certainly than Tom Withers does. In fact, there's a date stone above one of the doors, which is 1801, and that's how the book Wuthering Heights starts. It currently is, or at least I think it is a B&B, and they even have an Earnshaw room, which has a box bed, very much like in the book, and there's a Cathy window. So maybe if you go and book it one night, either with or without your Cathy or Heathcliff, maybe you'll get a visitation, or maybe if it's if you're both together, you'll feel the love of Wuthering Heights. Anyhow, that's Ponden Hall. We're going to crack on. Right, I'm at the side of Waterfalls Reservoir over in, I think we've just crossed over the border into Lancashire. Either that or we're very, very close anyhow. Car's going past, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'd just like to give a shout out to Chris JB. He watches most of my videos and always leaves a pleasant comment, so thank you for that, Chris. And also, he does some fantastic videos as well. I love the history that Chris puts in and the wildlife that he puts in as well, so keep up the good work, Chris. And yeah, we'll tune in soon, hopefully not too long now till we get to Wycoller. Right, we're finally at Wycoller Hall, and it's well recorded that Brontes used to visit here, and Wycoller Hall was built in 1596 and is allegedly the inspiration for Ferndale Manor in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. It's a lovely place and definitely worth a visit. You know, there's picnic tables and all the rest of it. But yeah, I've taken about a 2 kilometre detour to come and see this, because I don't actually think it's part of Brontë Way at all, but I think it's important because obviously we know that they came here to include it. I want to try and include every site on the way or close. But yeah, so this is Wycoller Hall, and it's a lovely place, so please come. Oh, still at Wycoller. I've got to tell you, trod lights, I'm whacked, really whacked. I've been going now, I don't know what, 16 hours, something like that, and I've just had enough, but I've still got about, I reckon, somewhere between 10 and maybe 12 miles to go. So this is going to be an absolute grueler. But before I set off any further, my feet are wet through, which is the main thing. I've got another pair of socks that I'm changing into. I'm going to put plasters on because I think I've got trench foot. But we're not going to give in. I just need to get a brew down my neck and some food, and then we're going to go for it. So stay tuned. The other thing I will say to you and all is, you're unlikely to get many photographs, or I'll try my very best, but it's closing in around us now, and at least we've got over the moors in the light, but this will be an head torch job before we're finished, definitely. Stay tuned. Right, I'm just about to leave Gawthorpe now. I can't do a review on it because you can't even see it, so I'll put a review on tomorrow regarding the history of Gawthorpe and also explain it. All I can say to you is I've been out 22 hours, I think I've done 72, 73 kilometres, something like that. So I'm absolutely exhausted. I don't think I've ever been as tired doing something in my entire life. It's been a really enjoyable day, really arduous in places, not well signposted, but when all's said and done, I'm still glad I did it. It just might be a while before I do it again. Anyhow, I'll do a sign-off message tomorrow, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video when I put it up.
Right, the final stop yesterday was Gawthorpe Hall, and goodness me, I was so happy to get there. And Gawthorpe goes back to the 14th century. For much of that time, it was owned by the Shuttleworth family. And Janet Shuttleworth married Sir James Clayton in 1842, and they invited Charlotte Bronte over on a couple of occasions. The last time in 1855, and it is reputed that a chill that she caught while walking in the grounds was something that she never recovered from, and unfortunately, a couple of months later she died. So it begs the question, Lancastrians, who'd have them? Anyhow, I'm only joking. I hope you enjoyed the video and the company of Mr. Thackers. I will be made up if you could subscribe to my channel, and if you want to see more of my videos, please press the bell and it'll tell you when I put one up. But until then, stay safe and catch you next time.